A toxic mother-in-law seems to manufacture drama out of thin air, and somehow she's never to blame. Does that sound familiar to you? How many times has your mother-in-law treated your husband like her own personal property and made you feel like an outsider? If you can't count the number of times on your fingers, chances are you're trapped with a toxic mother-in-law who has a mindset on making your married life hellish. Look, here's some tips, okay? Tip number one, you don't have to like your mother-in-law if she's extremely toxic or even be friends. Establish clear boundaries and let your spouse know. Talk to him, let him know that it's okay for him to maintain a relationship with his mother without involving you. By doing this, you can eliminate the pressure to please your mother-in-law. Chances are she doesn't want to be your friend either. If your spouse is constantly pushing you into uncomfortable situations, make it clear that friendship is not a necessity and that it's okay for him to have a relationship or do things together that do not involve you. Trust me, you'll be much happier and your marriage will suffer significantly less in the long run. Tip number two, or point number two, stop going the extra mile to please her. I learned this the hard way after dealing with hundreds of clients and dealing with narcissistic mother-in-laws. After years of accommodation and fake smiles, you should now stop worrying about making her happy and start worrying about your own happiness. The truth is, a truly toxic mother-in-law will never be happy. Do you find yourself planning events, inviting her to parties, attending holidays, dinners and celebrations just for her to show up and ruin all the fun? If you find yourself in situations where your mother-in-law is ruining exciting and fun memories with you and your family, it's time to take a step back and realise maybe she shouldn't be there at all. Talk to your spouse amicably and let him know that you don't want to spend happy times trying to please an unpleasable person. It most likely bothers him too.